Alright. Bot. Kick. Exact land prac.cog. Alright, guys. Practicing your aim. If you hit a fucking plateau with your aim, it's a tough one, and it's gonna take days. It's just like if you, like when I played ice hockey, my right foot was stronger than my left foot. So when I stopped, I could do my inside and outside edge on my right foot, but I could only do my inside edge on my left foot. My outside edge was weak because my ankle was weak on my left foot. Guess what I did? I didn't just go play ice hockey every day. I literally went to the rink with a trainer. She had this woman. She was a professional figure skater trainer. She said the hockey coach said she would be good for my skating problems. She came out to the rink, and every day she put these bands and pulled on me, pulled right while I sat there on my left edge and just fucking grinded it. The second it got weak, I would just rest on my inside edge. Then I would do another drill. Push off the outside edge. Push off the outside edge. Push off the outside edge. Skate hard. Stop on the outside edge. Backwards, backwards, backwards on the inside edge. 1 foot up on the outside edge, right? Exactly. And yeah, she was hot for whoever was asking. But she was also married. Lorna, if you're watching this, shout out. You're a great teacher. Listen, can you guys fucking stop being pervs? My point is anytime you want to improve on something, you generally focus in on that. So like what I was telling people just now with aim. Choose a spot on the wall. This is how I'm, so say you're aiming right here. See, that's my wrist. I know how to pull my wrist to that point. I'm aiming here. There's a guy there. I know. My wrist can only control from there to there. That's the distance of my wrist while it's planted, while this point doesn't move. So I'm just going like that. Hello, it's called waving. I'm waving. So the max distance of my wave is right there, right? Right there to there. That is where you have the best control with your aim because it's smaller, right? The smaller the mechanism, the more precise you get it. Your elbow is the second point. You have two places you could rest, here or here. Some people do a little bit of a hybrid and they rest like right here on the wrist, on the edge of the table, and then they kind of do like a little bit of movement on both at the same time, which is fine. I'm trying to acknowledge you guys, have you guys acknowledge the difference between wrist aim and arm aim. So the difference here when you're training for them is that when you want to train your wrist aim, you could just sit here all day. That's left. So this is my flicks left. Now my flicks right I know aren't as good notoriously because it's different. I'm out here, your arm's extended, right? Different fingers, etc., whatever. For whatever reason, my aim is a little bit better going to the left. So this, I overshoot it sometimes when I go to my right. So whenever I'm trying to flick, I already know that I have no problem flicking to the left. So if I'm aiming at this guy here, I have no problem hugging the corner with my crosshair because my flick left is just super as accurate. But if I'm holding the right, I generally don't like to hug as tight when I'm holding someone who's on the left because my reaction's not as smooth. So I'll give myself a little space here. So if I need to react, I could react smaller, and that way maybe I'm not shooting him if he jiggle peeks, but obviously my aim has enough ability to shoot him on the corner, but I just choose to do this if I know it's a rifler. Versus a rifler here that might jiggle peek me, I'm probably going to go for a jiggle peek on the right. That's because my flick is better going to the left, alright? So this is all with my wrist. Moving forward, what about me and Skadoodle Paxies? Alright, we'll talk about that in a second. Moving forward, now you want to train your arm, alright? So try to find, and all this stuff can be at a different sensitivity. Right now I'm at 1.8, 400 DPI, right? Video settings. You guys can type !! resolution in chat if you want to see it. 1280 by 1024. I'm playing on black bars. This is just full screen for the stream. When you're practicing aim with your arm, it's not going to be as precise, and it doesn't need to be. So say, when do you use arm aim? It's when you need to exceed this range of motion. So if there's a guy flanking tunnel and I'm shooting at a guy window, if I wanted to turn with my wrist, I'm stuck right there. Like, even if I cocked my arm and picked it off the table, I can go there. So what this entails is an arm movement. So what I would do is move my arm here and then correct with my wrist. So obviously if a guy came out here, then I would be fucked right there. Oh, it would be like really tight, but there's no one coming out here. So you control your arm movements based off the space you're in. So if you want to work on your arm movements, it's the same thing. You're going to do, instead of practicing a small flick like this, like you would with your wrist, now just practice bigger ones with your arm. Because when do you use your arm? For movements that exceeds your range of motion with your wrist. So you want to hit a guy right here. Well, I'm not going to snap onto that white thing. I can almost guarantee it. See what I'm saying? Like when I snap, it's always pretty far off. But what happens, if you notice when I correct right there, is I correct with my wrist. So what a lot of people don't get is your arm movement is supposed to assist your wrist position being centered. The more your wrist is like this and your aim is just a small deviation from your comfort zone, the better your recoil, your gun control is going to be. If your wrist is right here, you feel comfortable. But if you have to look to the left, now my hand is like this. Look how my hand is without moving it. So it's tweaked to the left, my arm's in, and then I want to snap to a window. Now I'm already tweaked here, so if I snap to window, I end right there. My range of motion has to use movement now in my arm to get up to window. So if you want to practice any of this stuff, you practice it one at a time. Wrist movements, arm movements, keyboard movements. Right? Left hand is different. So now that's the third part. But to finish off the part with the arm, when you want to practice snapping, snap, correct, snap, correct, snap, correct, snap, correct, snap, correct, snap, correct. Whatever you snap around, it's not going to be on it. But you need to realize that's how a lot of pro players aim. And so right here on my desk, I have my elbow kind of off. Generally, sometimes, depending on the LAN setup, I get up here. Type exclamation mark resolution if you want to know my settings, guys. Please stop. This stuff doesn't matter. I could literally change most of my video settings right here. The only thing I like to keep is global shadow quality so I can see shadows. If you want to get your aim better, isolate the different points of your aim. Wrist movement, arm movement, keyboard movement. Sometimes people are fucking shooting and they're moving too much. They're not stopping on a dime. Sometimes you're not moving enough. You know, burst, move, stop, burst, move, stop, burst, move, stop, etc. When you're turning around, movement also helps. Like if you just try to shoot and turn around versus shoot and move like that, obviously it's better to move, stay dynamic as a target. And yeah. Stop copying pro settings, and that's a big part of this, guys, is what I'm talking about here is on my sensitivity. Now watch, I go to 3 sensitivity. Now I want to snap there. Alright, I immediately have less of a wrist movement. So this isn't comfortable for me. Why? Because my wrist wants to do more. You want to know how I find the right sensitivity? My wrist gets the right amount of feedback so I don't feel pain. I don't feel, it's not necessarily pain, but like it's harder to control these movements like this because I have to tense my hand up more because I'm not used to the sensitivity. Whereas Forrest uses this sensitivity, and this is already relaxing to him. So his hand muscles are trained in a very small way to be controlled at this sensitivity. Because Forrest can literally do this and then see someone and be very precise and calm. I can't do that. Like if I see someone, I would overreact with my hand. So then I drop it, 2.5. How do I like that? Okay, I could play with this. People in front of me are pretty good. I could probably still do well in like a fucking matchmaker puck. I could easily drop 20 each half with this sensitivity. It's not what it's about, though. It's about me being able to get the kills that I'm comfortable with as fast as I want to get them. Getting fucking text. Oops, 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 oops. I just responded to this really quick. Savages. So, if we've edit this for YouTube, we can just edit this out. .5 sensitivity. Wrist, little fast for what I trained myself. I could do it. I could stop on a dime. If I have to 180, I could correct it. So I could still do it, but I could tell it feels a little quick. 2. A little faster than what I want, but it's pretty close. I could probably use this on LAN, when the nerves are a little higher and I'm a little bit more focused. That's the one thing I need to take into consideration. I generally lower my sense by like 1 point. Like if I'm 1.8 online, I'm probably 1.7 on LAN. Why? Because I got more energy going into my arm. I'm fucking ready to go. I'm excited to play. Online, my arm, I have I get tendonitis. My arm gets a little tired, and that 1.8 is kind of where I'm at lately. Online. But when I'm really on point, when I'm in practice, maybe I'll drop it to 1.7, 1.65, because I know even though it's a little slow, if I'm really on, that's my shit. You know, right here in terms of anything. Like I want to snap to that dot, I'm on it. 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 You know? So, fuck you guys in Adderall to think that I fucking need Adderall. Anyone, I know you guys just like to joke about it. It's just so funny because, yeah, I'm not even gonna talk about it. It's always funny though. Every time people see my face lit up on stage, like, look how much drugs nothing is on. Sorry, I'm fucking excited to be in front of 10,000 people. The fuck you think this is?
Motherfucker!
Why are you such a nice guy? Where do you think you get that from? My parents, probably, I guess. Anyways, on it. Nope, don't take any supplements. The most things I've ever taken consistently at like LANs is coffee. But I generally don't even like relying on coffee.